Hello again and welcome if you're new. In this video today, we're going to be dealing with a squash bug infestation, and here in these pictures is just a quick idea of what we're dealing with. It is a lot of squash bugs. My plan of attack on these were to get a bucket full of soapy water, just Dawn dish soap and water, and just start picking all of these off. I have a bucket here with soapy water and I just switched it out as needed, and then I also had a spray bottle full of soapy water that I sprayed the plants down with. There was a couple of things here to keep in mind. It's been raining a lot, so I wasn't able to deal with it until the rain had stopped, so I just kept coming through and dealing with these as the rain would stop, and then I would have to wait until the rain stopped. But I thought maybe I could get away with just spraying them down really well with soapy water. So, because there was so many, I was hoping that I would get away with just spraying them down with soapy water, but I realized that that was just not going to be enough. So I started by spraying them down, but then I quickly switched methods to just picking them off by hand. I was cutting off any dead leaves that were just harboring a ton of them, and I was just dipping them into soapy water, and then I just kept at this for a while. It was really hot on this day, so this was really difficult, but it was totally worth it in the end. As you can see, the leaves are super stressed out, and that's why I started to cut off the ones that were dead or just were looking really, really bad. With a pair of scissors, and just dip them in that soapy water so that the bugs would just drown in that water.
There's a big daddy boy right here.
Yes, I am using my daughter's sand pail and shovel. It just was the most convenient, and because I'm just using soapy water, I wasn't too worried about it because I could just rinse it out. But something I didn't realize at this time was that because it was so hot in the day, all of the bugs had moved down under into the shady areas of the plant. So this whole time while I was picking them away and doing this, all of the small bugs, I was able to get rid of most of the small bugs, but the next day when I had come back, I had realized how many of the large squash bugs I had missed. So I came back the next day and had to pick off all of the big squash bugs.
Okay, well, we're sitting here in the bed with all these squash plants, and I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna pick off all of the squash bugs because they are everywhere, and I want to make sure to look under all of these leaves for their eggs because they are infesting this bed very aggressively. Under these leaves, I am seeing little teeny tiny eggs, but I don't think these little eggs are squash bugs. I think these are going to be aphids. So once I'm done looking for the squash bugs, I'm going to spray all of these leaves with some soapy water just to kill the aphids if they are aphids. So that's what it's looking like to me. Like they might be aphid eggs. Because I've had lots of aphid outbreaks in this garden. This plant is looking pretty good. I found one. And I'm just dropping them in this pail of soapy water here so that it'll kill them. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through because these ones on this side look like they're doing great. This guy, oops, I lost him. Where'd he go? And I'm just going to go ahead and cut off any dead leaves because they have a lot of aphid eggs on them. Or not aphid eggs, but the, what you call them, the squash bug eggs. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off any dead leaves and try to kill off as many of these squash bugs as I can because they are definitely infesting this whole area. These plants right here in this general area, they look like they're doing really well, but all the ones on this side seem like they're really stunted and struggling because of the squash bugs. So I'm definitely going to take more in-depth look on these guys on this side. But yeah, this side, I'm gonna start on this side because they're like not that bad. And then I'll move over because these bugs are out of control. And they're fast. I didn't realize how fast squash bugs were. Kind of crazy to me. They're trying to escape my pail of soapy water, but it's not gonna happen.
After doing an online search on how to deal with squash bugs, this was kind of the best method that I could find, was to just completely submerge them in soapy water, and then also to make sure to scrape all of their eggs off of the leaves so that they weren't going to be able to produce more. So I went ahead and I tried scraping as many of the eggs off as I could, and I would submerge those in the water. And then for any leaves that looked not very good or were dying or had way too many eggs on them, I just clipped them off and I submerged them in the soapy water so that they just wouldn't be able to reproduce. And that was kind of my whole goal, was to get rid of the ones that were existing, but to also get rid of all of the eggs so they couldn't reproduce again. And at some point later in this video, my camera that I'm using to record did overheat because of how hot it was on this day. So we didn't have all of the clips of the end, but that's okay. I'll just show you what I have. And yeah, this day was quite repetitive. I just went through all of the different leaves. I went through all of the base of all the plants and just completely try to remove everything that I could find. Once I was satisfied that I had picked off as many as I could, I checked all the leaves to make sure that I had gotten off all the eggs. I ended up just taking my spray bottle with soap and just dousing the whole plant, the leaves, the base of the plant with some soapy water, just to ensure that if I missed anything, that hopefully it would die with the soapy water, and just to make sure it was clean. I did end up grabbing some gloves to put on to do this, and that made this so much easier. These plants are so spiky and they were just tearing up my hands. They were scratching me up, so I'm so glad I thought to go grab some gloves because they just made doing this so much easier. Since I had seen aphid, well, what looked like aphid eggs over on the squash or zucchini plant, I had went ahead and checked the watermelon plant and the cantaloupe plant just to make sure that there wasn't any aphids kind of overtaking them, trying to just be a little bit precautionary on that front, because that's what happened to me last year. The aphids just completely destroyed the cantaloupe and watermelon plants, so definitely made sure to double check that. So I sprayed all of them with this spray bottle just to make sure that I didn't miss even an inch of it. But what I wanted to point out is if you look in the pathway here, you can see that the grass has started to grow through the mulch, and that's because the cardboard that I had put down underneath the mulch by this point had already broken down. So that's something I'm going to be dealing with in the near future. I'm going to have to figure out how I can kind of push this grass back so that it's not growing through the mulch in the walkways, because that is something that bothers me a lot. As you can imagine, this took a really long time. Probably, I want to say it took me about 2 hours to just sit out here and just pick off all of these different squash bugs. And it was really hot out here, but I was really determined to get these squash bugs under control because of the rain. It was scheduled to rain more the following days, so I wanted to make sure to get this all done today. It was just really important to me, so that's why, despite it taking so long, despite it being kind of a labor of love, and it being so hot and humid out here on this day, it just was something that needed to get done. At this point is when my camera had started to overheat, and so this was really as far as I could get on this footage. I did end up cleaning all the way to the edge of this bed, and in this corner where I'm at is where it was kind of the worst. So this is the area that really took me a really long time, but I did do that off camera.
This is them all done. I picked all the squash bugs off and I sprayed the plants really well with soapy water. And they are looking much better. I know they look a little sad because they're all laying down, but that's okay. They're going to perk up now and they're going to be able to grow very, very well. These in this corner here, which are the summer squash, were most affected. So they're kind of small plants as is. But yeah, this side was definitely more affected by it. Obviously, they were more attracted to the yellow summer squash. And then on this end, they were least attracted to these zucchinis. So that makes me think that either they're more resistant, or it's because the outbreak started in this corner. It didn't quite make its way all the way quite here just yet to destroy these. But these plants over here were definitely more affected. They're a lot smaller. But they are looking and feeling a lot better. I'm going to water them. It is really hot today. And then, yeah, I'm all done. So I'm going to leave them alone. They're going to grow back and perk up, and they're going to feel a lot better, because now this is one of the plants that I had shown. Look, there's no more bugs. And then I went ahead on all of the leaves, and see, these are little buggers I'm talking about. There was 2 little tiny ones that I missed. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to come back and check them real soon just to make sure that they're not coming back. But yeah, there's no more bugs on them. You can see I cleaned all the bugs, and I sprayed them down really well and heavily with soapy water. So this was, I think, let me see. This was, I think, the one I took a picture of. And it's all nice and clean now. There's no more eggs either underneath. I took all the leaves off that were really affected and doused them in soapy water, and then put all the bugs I could find in soapy water, and then sprayed the bottom of the leaves with soapy water as well, really well. Oh, see, look at, I missed some. Look at them. These are their eggs. And so I'm going to go ahead and just rip that part of the leaf off and just take this. I would really like for them not to come back. I'm just going to take it and put it in that soapy water. I didn't dump it yet. I just moved it all the way over across the yard so that they can die. This is soapy water, and this is the eggs, and I'm just going to dump them in there. And I want to make sure to submerge everything so that the bugs, they can't climb out. So that's it. This is the ones that were already in there that I dumped out, and I just put them out in the sun, hoping the sun will just finish them off. They've already been doused with soapy water, so I'm gonna leave that there. And yep, that's it. I'm all done.
It did continue to rain over the next couple of days. We actually had a lot of fun. She went to go play out in the rain because that's just what she wanted to do. It's really nice because it's kind of hot rain. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. I should be posting again on Friday. And here's a little last-minute clip of what the plants look like a couple of weeks later. They're looking so good now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!